Hello and welcome back to the finish line and day 3 of our final selections are at Cheltenham Festival. Proudly brought to you by Hollywoodbets. So, Punters Challenge, a lot of people have been asking about it. Yes, it is happening for Cheltenham. It's happening for the 4 days. Each day you have a chance of winning a prize pool of €250 or pounds, depending on where you're from. So, how it works is always you place €10 bet 7 days prior to Punters Challenge. So that'll give you your entry. And if you place a tenner on the Wednesday, that'll cover for Wednesday, same Thursday and Friday. So it's a separate challenge each day. And if you do not want to set up an account, you can play for free. And if you do end up come first, second, third, or fifth, your prize money will be donated to the Irish Horse Welfare Trust. And as I said in the last videos, our match bets that we do between three of us here will be also donated to the Irish Horse Welfare Trust. So Dave is turning down €30. 40 euro. 40 euro. Unlucky. Also, Cheltenham daily free bet offers. Deposit €10 on each of the days and place €10 bet in first, second, and third race each day after your deposit for each day. You will then get, after the result is confirmed on the third race, you will get a free €10 bet put straight into your account to use on the fourth race, which is the championship race of each day. And you can use it each way, so it's not just restricted to a single win. So as well as that, your doubles, trebles, singles, straight multiples are all covered by Best Odds Guaranteed. 48 hours of the final declaration of the Cheltenham Festival, which is usually 48 hours prior to the first day, and then so on and so forth. So that doesn't include Yankees, Trixies, or Lucky 15s, but you also get a little boost of a certain percent for depending on how many selections you have in it. So I'll put all the links in the descriptions for that, for the terms and conditions of the accumulators, for the Best Odds Guarantees, and for the Punters Challenge and the free bet offers. So let's kick on with day 3. We start off with what many are saying the steering job of the week is Envoy Allen at 5-6 on. And Gamene won't run in this because he'd be after winning the Arkle by now. Monkfish will be sitting in his horse box on the way back to Close Sutton after hosing up in the RSA. Then you have Shamblu, Chantry House at 10s, Chatham Street last 14s, Sporting John at 16s, Allard 20s, Franco de Port 20s, and 20 to one bigger the rest. It's just Envoy Allen. That's just point and shoot for Jack.
I can't believe this thing is still 5-6. That's the best price of the entire festival. There's nothing in the race to beat him. It's like Monkfish, 14, 15 fences. That's all you have to worry about.
Tom, same thing.
As Dave was saying there, I just going through this. There's nothing to beat him. Energa Mene isn't going to run here. Monkfish isn't going to run here. You're down to Shan Blue, who he's hammered already at Cheltenham. Chantry House, Sporting John, Chatham Street lad. He is another one could go off one to do. Yeah.
As Dave said, 5-6 right now is huge.
It's madness.
It's near enough even money. If you had a little price
already.
What?
He should be 1-2 already.
He turns up. All he has to do is jump fences, and he wins. He's jumping his electric. He never looked like he's going to make a mistake. He's as straight as a gun barrel, and he's uncomplicated. Everything is there's not a thing you can crab about him. And cue Tom crabbing something.
I was just going to say. No. I was just going to say, do you want to find something interesting to say about Envoy Allen, which is his dam is actually a half sister to Colin Tizard's horse Eldorado Allen and the cross country horse Auvergnat, which I didn't know until just now. It was quite interesting. The two boys who played Swift couldn't give a shit about pedigrees. Are like, yeah, that's fantastic.
I actually do. I give a shit about pedigrees, but you mentioned Eldorado Allen and Envoy Allen in the same sentence, and that shouldn't have been allowed.
For shame, Thomas. For shame.
That actually points to him staying well though in the pedigree going forward. Actually,
yeah.
True. Himself and Monkfish next season, Gold Cup, water race.
Would happen.
Envoy Allen by half the track.
Yeah.
Yeah, 5 or 6 laps, I think. Just take it handy. Don't go crazy.
Moving on. Pertemps Handicap Hurdle. As always, we've done our handicap video, which you can find on the channel, but we're going to go through these nice and quickly and just give our selections, 1 or 2 liners. Dave, Imperial Ankylosaur, he's one of your naps of the meeting.
He is. We went into it in more detail in the handicap video, and you can sometimes look past the obvious in this, but the top weights in or around do have a good record in this. I think Imperial Alcazar will win.
Tom?
Yeah, the Boss's Oscars for a long time been a selection of mine for the festival after finishing 5th in the Martin Pipe last year and finding a load of trouble. I'm sticking with him. I didn't think I would off 151, but I think he's got a cracking chance. The one I'm very scared of is Champagne Platinum. That could be absolutely thrown in off 139. And the outsider then, if you're looking for a big price, is Mrs. Milner, who is about 33 to 1, something like that. Oh, hang on. May have been backed. Is now best price 20 to 1, Mrs. Milner.
Paul Nolan had a winner today as well.
He did?
Yeah.
I am really sweet on David Pipes Brinkley. I've liked him for a long time. When trained in Ireland by Liz Doyle, he ran in a 4-year-old maiden hurdle, won by Blue Sari. Boss's Oscar was 2nd. He was 3rd, and Ashdale Bob was 4th. He went to David Pipe then, got pulled up at his first start, and ever since then, he won. He won his first race, came back from 293-day layoff, got pulled up, and ever since then, he's looked an absolute machine. He beat Do Your Job, who went on to be 2nd behind Moy Drogo. He's off 148. I think he's a lot better than that. He's carrying 11 stone, 7, get 14 to 1 each way. You get 6, 7 places in this. I think he's going to go very, very close in this. I think 14 to 1 is an absolute steal. That's it. Moving on. If you want more in depth, we go into a lot more detail in our handicap video, so you can check that out. Ryanair Chase. So we are looking at. Come on screen. Allaho is 5-1 favourite. Min is 6s. Imperial Aura is still 13 to 2. Fakir Dudari is 8s. Mellon 8s. Mr. Fisher is 8s. St. Cavalos 9s. Ken by 10s. 12 to 1. Bigger the rest. What way are you looking at this, Dave? Are you looking at Mellon, Min?
I think every horse that you mentioned probably has bar the ones that are not run, that won't run, actually have a chance. This is the hardest race of the whole festival to make head or tails.
Even Mr. Fisher.
Yeah, if the ground is good, he has a chance, and I don't like the horse. The one outside with is Mellon, just because of his Cheltenham record. I think he'll place, so he get 8, 10 to 1 each way, but it's fiendishly hard.
Great word.
To pick the winner. It wouldn't even surprise me if Sam Crow won, to be honest. Genuinely, it's a really hard race to figure out.
Whoa. Tom,
Yeah.
is it fiendishly hard for you? I love that word.
It is a very, very hard race to figure out. But I think Dave hit the nail on the head there right at the end with Sam Crow. If you look at all the ones that have good chances, they're all single figures. And I think they're pretty short. And then you get Sam Crow, and he's 14 to 1, 16 to 1. I think that's too big about him. Fantastic record at Cheltenham. Won the Marsh last year. Pulled up obviously at Christmas in the 3 mile behind a Plutard, but that was an odd race. A lot of horses were beaten a long way out that day. I wouldn't worry about that. I think better ground is fine from as well if it is better ground. And you just look at him, he's turned up to 2 Cheltenham festivals and he's won both times. I think he's going to have an absolute smashing chance. I think he's one that it was crucial that he stayed where he was in the outside stables and is now under the care of Denise Sneezy Foster. So I think the outside stables suit him well, and I reckon he'll go close.
Yeah, he's a big enough price when you take in consideration his record at Cheltenham. But look, I've been Allaho's probably biggest fan for a long time. I think he's finally back down to the trip that is his best trip, even over hurdles. It's a 3 mile day, as I said. This lad needs 2.5 miles. High cruising speed, jumps well, go from the front. I know there's going to be a lot of pace in it, but I think the fact that he stays 3 miles is going to be a big plus in this. If he gets out, gets his jumping right, I think he's going to be very, very hard to beat. He put away Ellie May at was it Thurles last time. She's a very, very good mare, and he beat her very handy enough with a lot left in the tank. I think he's going to be hard to beat. I respect Min a lot. I can't have Imperial Aura at all. In fact, you do there is a triplet yak. Mellon is just, God love the poor fella. He just loves finishing second. Mr. Fisher, I couldn't have him in the month of Sundays. St. Cavados is one I'd be interested in. I think he's underestimated. But yeah, I think Allaho and Samcro is too big at 16s, even though he hasn't done anything really this season. But the same can be said last year when he ended up winning the Marsh. But yeah, Allaho for me all day long, 5-1. Right, moving on to one that could bring down the house if we're all there. We have Paisley Park in a 10-3 joint favourite with Time Hill. Sire the Bear, excuse me, Slow the Burleys at 8. Flooring Porter 12s, Roxana 12s, Storyteller 14s. Champ's going to go cup. Liz Nagara, Oscar at 16s. Oh, look, there's that Vindication is going to win the stairs. 16s. Who pays these people? And 20-1, bigger arrest. Tom, you're a big fan of Sire the Burley. Sire the Burley.
Well, yeah. Again, for anyone who is a follower of the channel, we put horses up right at the start of the season, and he was the one I put up for this at 20-1. And I had a few quid on myself, and I'm happy with that bet. I know he didn't run too great the last day, but a lot of Gordons were sick over Christmas, and this lad scoped badly. I'm willing to forgive him that. I thought before that he was very good at Navan because he does want every bit of 3 miles, I think, to show his very best. The form at the Cheltenham Festival is very, very good. He's won the Pertemps for the last 2 years running. He won it last year off 152. He gave the Storyteller £3 that day, and they were 6.5 lengths clear of the third horse. His gig is the Cheltenham Festival, lads. A bit like Sam Crow as well. Like, he's 2 out of 2 there. I think he's got a cracking chance of being placed. Look, one of the first 2 might go and beat him. Time Hill is a very good horse, and so is Paisley Park. And you know, I would love to see Paisley Park win for obvious reasons. But yeah, look, I have a bet on him, and I'm happy to keep it. And I think he's got a very good each way chance.
So, Dave, Vindication. I heard you talking gloriously about this fella.
There's money for him.
In what's been an absolutely mad year since Cheltenham last year.
Oh, what's going on with this fella wins?
Which kind of started with Paisley Park having a heart issue, and then COVID, and then finished with Kubo back in Pentland Hills for the Arkle.
I knew you'd get it in somewhere.
Paisley Park is going to right the wrongs and just...
It's redemption day, isn't it?
Redemption.
It's redemption day for Paisley Park.
If that hadn't happened last year, Paisley Park's probably even money, so he's a good price. Back Paisley Park, he'll win.
Yeah, I think Paisley Park wins going away. He has Time Hill's measure already. Everything that could go wrong at Ascot went wrong for him. He was trapped wide. He was shuffled backwards. He had to go out wide and come with his run, and he still got there. Cheltenham is only going to play to his strengths more. He's an utter out-and-out bull of a stayer. If he gets there, tip-top shape, nothing goes wrong. His heart is all good now. He's been tested through the pain barrier. I think 10-3 is a cracking price. As Dave said, if he won the stairs last year and there was nothing to come out of it, he'd be coming in here as even money favourite at least. And Time Hill will probably be shorter than 10 to 3 and anyway with that. But I think Paisley Park is by far one of the best days of Thursday at 10 to 3.
He is he's the story for the race and the story for Cheltenham as well. I mean, we'd all love to see that. I think like between him, Altior, and then maybe, I don't know, like Frodon winning the Gold Cup or something.
Take
like,
that back now.
They are
Take
the
that
story.
back right now, or I'm cutting you off.
I thought David like that. They are the stories we need for racing.
We don't need that story. Nobody needs that story.
I'm not even getting into this.
See, Paul Nichols said he's
tired now.
convinced that he has a chance.
I'm tired now. I'll just come across as cranky. So just better off not answering it.
Moving on swiftly. Jesus Christ. Another handicap. Paddy Power Plate. Quickly again, we've conflated at 8s, Far Class at 8s, Wave of the Sea 11s, Caribbean Boy at 12s, Deshunt are 12s, Phil's Dudari at 14s, Chatham Street Lads, Mr. Whittaker 16s, Umbragado 16s, and 18 to 1, bigger the rest. We going in with Umbragado again.
Yeah, Wave of the Sea and then Umbragado for me, those two.
Tom?
Yeah, I see there's some money for a Wave of the Sea, so I take it that's where he's going. He's very interesting. Conflated is obviously very interesting as well. There's been a lot of money on him. And Fias Dudaris is another one I'd throw in there. Has been campaigning some very, very big races in Ireland this year and would have a cracking chance. That's wide open, though. I'd literally have 3 of them in that.
I have a small bit on Mr. Whittaker. I think former Cheltenham is good, but I like him on Brigado. I think the Cheltenham Hill is going to suit him. I know he won last week, but I think strike while the iron is hot, and he's in good form, and I think he'll go well at 16 to 1. I think it's a great price. But as Tom said, this thing is absolutely wide open. It's one of the hardest handicaps of the week. Right. Moving on to the Mayor's Novice Hurdle. Hookup is in a 5 joint favourite with Royal Kahala. Rosie's Hollow is 7. Gallows is 9s. The Glance of Queen 10s. Glens of Antrim at 11. Sky is 14s and 20 to 1. Bigger the rest. Sky, Dave, happy with the bet still?
Yeah, I have a fortune on this thing, to be honest, for what I spend on betting. So yeah. If she wins, I'd say everything else could lose and I'd still be up for the festival. So, and I have an each way double with her and Mellon as well.
I'm interested to see how much of this.
So I think she'll win. The Royal Kahala would be the one I'd be worried about. The rest of them, not so much. Sky will win.
Tom, your view on it?
Yeah, I was just checking Betfair actually, just to see if that would give us a guide to who's going here, because there's a really valuable Grade 1 Mares Novice at Fairy House in a couple of weeks. So a good few mares do actually skip this and go for that. Rosie's Hollow, I followed her since our horse lads with Pimlico. Shauna Ausicht was 5th on her first start behind Rosie's Hollow and a couple of others. And then we finished behind Rosie's Hollow again on our next start. So we formed that ties in with her, and I followed her very closely. And I fancied her last day, but I was really worried about Royal Kahala because she looked the real deal. And she put it to bed, and she put it to bed quite nice. And if she went here, I'd be very strong on her. I would have this setback and trip, no problem. I think she stays very well. I think she travels very well. She's already going to have beaten most of these. And
does she have to give weight away?
She has to give him £5. Yeah.
There's a £9 swing with Royal Kahala and Rosie's Hollow.
9
because Royal Kahala had to give her away the last day, so it swung around.
Royal Kahala did have to give her away last day. Yeah. I thought she beat her convincingly. I know she only beat her 2 lengths, but I thought she was convincing at that. And even though I'm normally all one for weight swings and saying that they'll turn the form around, I wouldn't be convinced she'll turn the form around. I think Rosie's Hollow is a very, very good mare.
You've rose tinted glasses now with Shauna.
I don't. I honestly think she's a cracking there. Yeah.
I'm very interested in Roy Kahala. I know Rosie's Hollow beat her the last time, but I think that was just an off day. I'll be willing to take a chance on her. But I'd say they surely go to Leopardstown, do they? Or Fairy House with Rosie's Hollow, especially after giving the weight away. And it's a great one.
They could well do. That's why I said it at the start. Like, if you're betting, make sure it's non-run or no bet. Or I've got another one to throw in at a wild price just in case she doesn't turn up anyway. And I think this mare probably will turn up here. And you're going to love this one.
It's telling me something.
Global Equity.
Yeah.
She's tough. She's hardy. She may not be the best mare in this field, but by God, she runs her race consistently. She's 25 to 1. She finished second behind Rosie's Hollow at Fairy House. She finished then second in a very competitive handicap hurdle, staying on all the way. And then she was second behind a horse of Henry's called Atlantic Fairy, who's going to Fairy House, and there's an absolute aeroplane in my book. Look, she might not win, but I'd 25 to 1. I'd back her each way with a good few places.
Yeah, I've two as well. Roy Kahala would be probably my main one, just on the premises that Rosie's Hollow will go to Fairy House. But Tell Me Something Girl is the other one. She's entered in handicap as well. She'd really interest me in. She's in the Coral Cup of 10 stone 7, but she's been a mare that's been improving a lot. She was 3 for 4 going into the handicap hurdle. She was third behind Heaven Help Us at Leopardstown. That was the first run after a break. I think there's a lot more come from her. She put a long way clear of the rest of the horses behind her. So 20 to 1, I think she'd be a good each way bet, but I think it'll take one hell of a horse to beat Royal Kahala, and I think Hookup's price is gone a long time ago. She was set. Well, she in behind Appreciated.
Fourth
behind Appreciated. Look, she runs to that far and she probably wins. But I think Roy Kahala had an off day the last time, and I think she'd be hard to beat, especially with the weight turnaround 9 pounds, as they said, with Rosie's Hollow. But Tell Me Something Girl is another one that I'd be interested in at a big price of 20 to 1. Moving on to the last race of day 3. The Kim Muir Handicap Chase. We have Run Wild Fred in at 5 to 1 favourite. Time to get up the 6s. Deja Abu, I'm going to call it, even though it's not, at 14s. Hold the Door at 14s. Jerry's Back 16. Chanticleer 16s. And Mount Ida at 18 to 1. Dave, this is kind of a Run Wild Fred at the talking horse for this race.
This is a mad race. I said even in the handicap video, I didn't. Yeah, if you get the winner of this or the plate, you're doing well. To be honest,
I'm bad at this race.
Yeah. Andrew, we lost money last year on a Thursday, and Andrew convinced me the Plan of Attack was going to win, and he didn't win. And then I was like, I have enough of this race now. To be honest,
you more optimistic.
And Plan of Attack is a Henry de Bromhead horse, so that was no surprise.
But really. I wasn't the only one. He was smashed.
Fagan and Melanford, and no other reason than I like Fagan and Melanford.
That's all you need to in these races. Tom?
Yeah, Plan of Attack is going to get smashed up in the betting again, I'd say. If he gets into this, he probably will. Is off, I think, £2 lower than when 4th last year. Look, would have its chance. Would definitely have its chance. The one I gave a shout out to in the other video as well was Hold the Note. Doesn't win too often, but if you want an each way bet, I'd say you'll have a bit of fun with this lad. Has good form around Cheltenham, and yeah, kind of what price is he there? Hold the Note, 10, 12 to 1. Yeah, I'd take a chance each way at that price.
No, my selection is not an original. I think Run Wild Fred is still went ill. Second into T&Cs. Blinkers have done him the world of good. I think the extra furlong, it'll be right up the street, and I think he's going to take a world of beating in this. It might be finally the year I crack my Kim Muir hoodoo. Right, naps and next best for day 3 before they move on to the final day. Dave,
Nap, Imperial Alcazar. Next best, Sky Ace.
Tom.
Nap is going to be the boss's Oscar. And the next best is Sam Crow each way in the Ryanair.
My nap is Paisley Park, and my next best is Allaho. A giant next best with Run Wild Fred. Can I do that?
Yeah, because
I just
Allaho
did.
has no chance.
Shut up, you. Mog. Anyway.
I think Andrew called something a tripless bastard a while ago. I mean, how
Fact, yeah.
you can say that? As
At
an
least he's
Allaho
at the winning. At least he's at the winning over 2.5 mile. So he's not tripless. Fact, you do there, he's tripless.
Congratulations.
You could run him into King's Stand and he'd be second over 5 furlongs.
Congratulations. You gave him here £2 and better. Well done, Allaho. Good job.
Dave does get cranky when he's tired, doesn't he?
Of all the names in that he read out, he's probably the only one that doesn't have a chance.
Who?
Allaho.
Oh, if he wins, not when he wins.
Do you know what? My last match bet. I'll pick Sam Crow against him.
Done. We didn't do one in this video. Well done.
Well done, Dave.
Well done,
Outdoor
Dave.
Stables. We're at the Oracle.
Moving on to day 4.
Let's go, Sam Crow.